In 1977, you could sit in a New York City park for free. You could loiter in a diner booth over a single coffee for 2 hours. You could stand on a street corner and talk to a stranger without anyone asking you to buy something or move along. Today, that world is gone, and almost nobody noticed it disappearing. The sociologist Ray Oldenburg coined the term third place in 1989 to describe the spaces that were neither home nor work: cafes, barbershops, public squares, libraries, parks. Places where you could exist without spending money. Where community happened by accident, not by design. Oldenburg warned that these places were dying. He was right, but the reason they died is worse than he imagined. It was not neglect. It was strategy. In the 1990s, urban planners began designing what they called destinations, spaces optimized for spending, not for lingering. The logic was simple: a person who stays too long without buying is a cost. A person who moves through quickly, purchases something, and leaves is a profit center. So cities began reshaping their public spaces around this principle. Benches got armrests in the middle to prevent lying down. Bus shelters got ads but no seats. Parks got fences and closing times. The architecture of belonging was replaced by the architecture of transaction. Meanwhile, the private sector built its own version of community, and charged for it. Co-working spaces like WeWork sold the feeling of a shared office without the commitment of actual colleagues. Coffee shops became living rooms you had to rent by the hour, one overpriced drink at a time. Gyms turned into social clubs with membership fees. Even churches started charging for parking. The sociologist Juliet Schor studied this shift and found something disturbing. The more community a space marketed itself as providing, the more it cost to enter. Real community, the kind that happens when people share space without a financial transaction, was being systematically replaced by simulated community, sold back to the people it had been taken from. Here is what the data shows. The average American now spends 67% more time alone than they did in 2003. The Surgeon General declared loneliness a public health epidemic in 2023, noting that social isolation carries the mortality risk equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But the government did not create this epidemic. Developers did. Planners did. Corporations did. They did it by removing the spaces where people used to bump into each other, and replacing them with spaces where you only meet people who are also paying. Robert Putnam documented the collapse in his 2000 book, Bowling Alone. Between 1985 and 2000, membership in community organizations dropped by 25 to 50%. But Putnam focused on organizations. He missed the physical layer. The real collapse happened in the built environment itself, in the disappearance of the corner store, the public bench, the unprogrammed park space, the free museum day. The French philosopher Henri Lefebvre called this, the right to the city, the idea that urban space belongs to everyone who lives in it, not just to the people who own it. That right has been quietly revoked. Today, most urban space in America is privately owned or privately managed, even when it looks public. Shopping malls replaced town squares. Gated communities replaced neighborhoods. The result is a landscape where you can only be somewhere if you are buying something. So ask yourself this: when was the last time you sat somewhere in public, for free, without being asked to leave? When was the last time you talked to a stranger who was not trying to sell you something? When was the last time you existed in a shared space without a transaction? If you cannot remember, that is not your fault. The spaces where that used to happen have been redesigned, rebranded, or demolished. You are not lonelier because you are broken. You are lonelier because the world was rebuilt around your isolation, and someone figured out how to charge you for it.